Another good hole. Punch the slug out like it's supposed to. So I had that perfectly level. I welded up that side instead of tacking it on both sides like I should have. And it shrunk and pulled it this way. So I've loosened that side. I'm going to try to pound it over and see if I can get it to straighten up. That was, yep, rookie mistake. Okay, so I did cut out on this pot end that catches stuff. It might catch stuff if I'm drilling through this square that I made. So I'd originally drilled out a hole with a mag drill, and then I just expanded it with the cutoff wheel and then the Sawzall metal blade to square it up. So this is a pretty good size hole, plenty big for any mag drilling I'm going to be doing. So what I'll want to do is be able to position my mag drill over the top of this, and then when I puncture through my work, I'll just have an open space below my work that I'm drilling through. So I have it relatively flattened out. You can see where I've sanded it a bunch. That is not light. Okay, so this is a drop from the local steel place, 1/2 by 12. So this is 12 this way. It's actually a little bit longer, but that's what he had. And to save me a cut, I just took the extra. So flat bar, 1/2 by 12. The 12-foot wide stick, which is 20 feet long, is $240. So I think they charged me 20 bucks for this. So it wasn't much at all. So what we'll do is try to center this somewhat on, we'll try to center this piece on this. My mag drill is going to sit somewhat back here so that I'm drilling through right here-ish. That should be good. Then we'll go ahead and grind this off on the sides. We'll tack weld it here, and on the other side as well. I don't want to burn it in all the way. I don't want to warp this. So I could, my buddy was just telling me yesterday, I could drill and tap this and bolt it to this piece, and that would keep it from warping. Okay. I'm not too concerned about warping as far as this distance goes, but side to side where I'm going to be clamping my work, I don't want it to warp at all. So that's what I've got to figure out what I'm going to do. So if I do weld it at all, I'm just going to tack it here and tack it here, maybe tack it a couple places on the sides, not be aggressive with this at all because I don't want this piece to warp. Okay. Okay. So again, this plate, this mounting plate for the grinder is very warped, as you can see. My 1/2-inch plate is straight. We'll put the level on it. You can see it's nice and flat across there. It's fairly level. It's between the black lines. I'm happy with that. We'll just flip this level over just to make sure. This is an old beater level. I don't really trust it, but it's about the same no matter which side you put it on, so that's good. That means that bubble's probably accurate. This way, it's a little bit low on this side. Same thing, a little bit low on that side, but I think I'm okay with that. It's not grossly off, but it is flat. You can see there's no light underneath it. So this thing is just, there's no straightness to this at all. This plate that came. Now, some of that warp may have come in from me welding it down here, but I sort of doubt that that made this warp way out here. I guess it could have. Okay, I'm no expert. What I think I want to do though is tack this side and tack this side and then run around and do the back sides, tack them. That way if these shrink a little bit, it'll tip it this way, which is what I want. Just because it's a little low in the back over there. So if it does start to cool and pull this way, then that's fine. It'll get closer to where I want it. So I'm going to go ahead and tack these, bzz, bzz, and then go around do the other corners, and keep our fingers crossed. So look at that. Even that little bit of welding warped it. Look at that gap. Still a bit of a gap there. Still a bit of a gap in the back, not quite as pronounced in the front, but that's a big gap, man. That's annoying. It's pretty good front to back, although it's a little wobbly now. If this was a working table that I was squaring stuff up on, that would be a bigger concern. But I am going to be putting pieces on here. Sometimes the pieces aren't going to be all the way across. Sometimes the pieces are going to be like that. So that's going to throw it off just a little bit. Okay. I'm just surprised that happened with that little bit of welding, but it didn't take much, and I'm not even burning this thing in, so dang. Yeah, well, here we are. Okay, so for my little cutout here in the bottom, this plate that you mount your grinder to, this bottom part, I'd cut a square out. I marked it with a Sharpie. I drilled a hole right in the middle of a little pilot hole, just so I could locate my annular cutter right there. Sorry about all the camera movement. So we'll roll this down. Where it hits the hole right there. Now I just want to kind of square it up a little bit. So we're just going to measure here 4 1/4. So that'll be for the back. These will be for the sides. Okay, so this is just going to help me locate this so that whenever I put it on here, this will always line up, and that'll line up with my hole that I'll have there. I know these here are going to warp out like this. They're going to twist out like that as I weld this. So I might go ahead and just put a clamp loosely there just to hold it. Hopefully not bend it in, but just hold it right in that place. We'll weld it, we'll let it cool, then we'll open the clamp and see if that keeps it from flexing back too far. Okay, so I know the mag drill base is 3 1/8, so I'm getting 3 3/16 right there, 3 3/16 right there, so we'll keep our fingers crossed here. We'll be careful. Okay, so it's had a bit to cool. Take the clamp off. Let's just see how our measurement stayed. Still 3 3/16. 3 3/6. 3 1/4. Let's see what it looks like with the mag drill in place. Okay. So it did bend out just a little bit. Looks like this one did especially. That one didn't. It's fairly vertical, but that one definitely bends out just a touch. Let's just see if we can flex it in with the clamp and, yeah. It's a little better. But I think at the base, is where it's going to hold it in place. The base is where it's going to hold it in place, not necessarily at the top. So, you know, the base is it's a little tiny bit better. The base doesn't have much wiggle room. Okay, right. Plugged in. Metal's pretty cool. Magnet on. Oh yeah, it's pretty sturdy there. Let's go ahead and lower this. We'll turn on our oil. All right, let's see what happens. I would like to see more oil coming through there. Okay. Making me cringe, but I'm cutting this up clamp. I guess the only thing that makes me feel better about cutting an F-clamp is I did get these on sale at Tractor Supply for just over 10 bucks. And I already had a couple, so I bought 2 more, so I'll have to buy a couple more to replace them. They're about 20 bucks though. I probably could have used C-clamps, but I like the threads on this, and I like the way this slides up and down. So I'd rather have this slide up and down more easily, that way I can attach my work quicker. Yeah. Okay, so we're just going to use a 1/2-inch bolt and a nut on the other end. And so we used our cut F clamp, cut it right there, weld it on this bolt, and then the nut, this will drop through the 1/2-inch plate, and then the nut will go on the bottom side. And this will give me a little bit of adjustability as far as turning it this way or this way goes, and I'll still be able to clamp stuff down to my workpiece. So what that means is I get to drill another hole, a 1/2-inch hole, somewhere-ish, right-ish, here-ish, and another one right here, so I'll have a clamp on both sides. By the way, there's the slug that came out of the bottom of this hole right here. Cool. You can see that pilot hole I drilled with my drill press was not very straight up and down. So another advantage of the annular cutters and the mag drill is it's always going to be square with your metal. Cool. Okay, so I just measured the center to this edge and translated that from to here and here, that 4 inches. And then I took my piece like this, and I want this clamp to end up right in the middle when I clamp stuff down, right in the middle of that line. So I made a little mark there. Where is it? There it is. And then I just translated that out perpendicular or straight out from there. Okay, so the bolt hole will be somewhere there-ish, and then this will line up with that line right there. There, that's good there. And so that will be right in the middle of that. That should hold my work, whatever piece I put up here, and clamp it. Okay, I didn't show drilling these holes with the mag drill. The smaller holes just go so quick. I mean, this was like 15 seconds and 1/2-inch hole drilled all the way through. Super fast. Yeah, it's super messy. Metal goes flying everywhere, but so let's just see if this even goes in. Okay. So it goes in. So then we'll take a nut, and I got lucky I didn't end up on any of the supports here, or the braces there, so. All right, so there's one. So this will allow me to get it out of the way if I want it out of the way. If I have a piece of work right in line there that's pretty close, I'll be able to move it fairly close to the mag drill if I need to. I'll also be able to move it away if I need to. There's the second one. Pretty much in line with my mark there. That's good. And how'd this one turn out? Pretty much in line as well. So obviously as it swivels, it goes inboard. That's maxed. And as I swivel it out, it'll go outboard as well. I tried to bring my hole a little bit this way to try to push this way so that when it was centered or parallel with the mag drill or perpendicular to my work, let's say I have a piece of work laying across like this, that it would be just a little bit past center this way, so that when I swing it this way, it would be closer to center. I swing it this way, it'd be a little closer to center. Of course, it's going to pass center here, it's going to pass center over here, but I tried to put it just a little bit further this way when it's straight like this. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense in this camera. Let's put the mag drill on and see what it looks like. Okay, so here's what it looks like. Now the mag drill is that's going to be a problem. Oh! Okay, so something I didn't plan for was the clearance of the handle. Fortunately, the handle's fixed on the unit, and it doesn't travel up and down, but I had to cut this much off in order for the handle to clear this post. Okay, I thought about, well, I'll bend the handles out, or maybe I'll cut these off, and I was like, okay, this is out of control. I'll just go ahead and cut it off. What I'm losing is height right here, so that I was hoping that I would be able to raise these up high enough that this, at its highest point, would be at the bottom of this. That's not the case on this right side. It is on the left side, but not on the right side now, because the handle's in the way. You can see that one's shorter than the one on the left. Okay, lesson learned. I could drill a hole and move it inboard a little bit, and that's what I should do, but if you're doing this, just keep that in mind. Okay, so what this is going to look like is, we'll take a piece of steel, we'll slide it in place here, and then we should be able to pick this up, rotate it around, set it there, put a few spins on that, hold that in place. Same thing here, rotate it, drop it. Make sure not to hit the annular cutters with your pieces there. Okay, and those should be out of the way. Then we can go ahead and lower our bit. And make our cut. All right, how sturdy is that? Well, I can't shift it around without wiggling the whole table or moving the whole table around. So I'm pretty happy with that. It captures the drill, it holds the drill, and then when work's done, we'll just back these off, slide them out of the way. Ta-da! Excellent. did the job. I just had to pull the slug out almost every hole. So